Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so good to be back. To episode 9 of Have Something to Say, Let's Talk. I've missed being on this platform. Uh, some of you know who follow me, I've been sick, had respiratory issues. I couldn't talk and didn't want to be on here coughing up things and losing my breath and everything. Those who prayed for me, thank you so much. I know we've gotten off schedule, but I'm glad to be here on this evening. Whether you watch this live, whether you watch this recording, thank you for all of your support. Those of you who follow us on YouTube and Robert R. Holiday, or whether it's Facebook, I Have Something to Say, Let's Talk, or whether on Podbean at that same location. If you ever want to get in touch with me, whether it's about anything we talk about or something you'd like to talk about, you can email me at rrhpodcast1@gmail.com. Again, at rrhpodcast1@gmail.com. All right, it's the podcast that you didn't know that you needed, but I am so glad that you're here. Thank you for diving in with me on tonight. This will be Independence Day in this country, but let's talk about today about relationship and purpose. And so, those of you who have been in any of the other 8 episodes, and if you haven't, you got a chance to go back and catch up with them. You know, we talk about a plethora of things. And so one thing I really want to dive into this just for a little bit is that oftentimes we have been taught, whether it's from a Christian point of view or from a cultural point of view or society, about not having a lot of friends. And so let's deal with this. I think we kind of misuse the term friend. And because we have something in common with people, we often just denote them right away. This is my friend. Before we can really deep dive into whether this is someone that I'm going to do life with, or if this is someone that's segregated to this part of my world. And that's okay, because all of us, we should and need to have different boundaries and in different areas of our life. We don't need to be so quick to call everyone, and I know we do this, especially in the church world and even in the Black community, out of thing of respect for one another. We'll call each other sis, bruh, or auntie, uncle. And so I'm all for that respect thing. But long as we understand that why that you get this honorific. But we also have to understand that there are some people in our lives that are tied to our purpose. And when someone is tied to your purpose, you have to differentiate between that. Here we are, we just hanging out and we kicking it. Or is this person designed to sometimes be a buffer to me, to help me to excel, to push me to where it is I need to be. See, oftentimes we get tied up in knots because this person may not always agree with me, or this person is always challenging me to become something because they see the potential in me, and God can place them in your life to help bring about purpose. I've been blessed to have some great people in my life, and I had this understanding very young, is that if they are never ever like my ace boon coon, they still have a purpose in my life, because they are helping buffer me get out the rough edges and push me to become what it is that I need to become. And in this process of becoming, there's a lot of refining. But they love me enough, or have enough affection for me, to say it doesn't matter how you may be feeling about me at this moment. What matters is the purpose. See, we're so quick, and we've been taught, we've gone through this cycle in church about your haters and this and that. And we feel like anyone who doesn't say what it is that I feel that they need to say hates me. And sometimes truth is a very powerful thing. Truth can hurt your feelings because truth is trying to get you to the position that you need to be so the best of you can come out. And sometimes it can be said in love, but it can still be abrasive to you. But there's a purpose that's intertwined. I have to understand that everything is not always meant to hurt you, but it is meant to make you good. We have to stop looking at relationships about the equality or if this person is what we say on our level. Let me give you Bible for the Christian people. David and Jonathan was not on the same level. One, there was an age gap between them. One was the son of the king. The other one was the shepherd boy. But yet, because of the purpose that was in both of their lives, their hearts were intertwined with one another. And so sometimes there could be something that looks odd to other people, but it is a God-ordained moment for you. Whereas it looked like that because of lineage, Jonathan should have succeeded Saul to the throne. But Jonathan knew that he was there for the purpose of loving David to his purpose, that he was willing to step back so that he can become. When God puts someone into your life, some people realize that there are those of us that we are bridges, we are ladders, we are stepping stones. And we have to be comfortable in our positioning that there's going to become a time where we may decrease so that we can be help the other person come to their purpose so that they may increase. And this is all part of the relationship, because relationship cannot dwell in jealousy, but relationship has to dwell in clarity and with the understanding that we are here for one another. And here's the thing: if you're the one that's purposed to be in that first chair, you never really value yourself over the one who will help get you there, because you understand that bridge, ladder, stepping stone. You understand whose shoulders that you're standing on. And you understand that it was this person who told you the truth when other people wanted to lie to you and to just make you comfortable in what it is that you were doing. Again, remember, I said truth can be abrasive. When an oyster is bringing about a pearl, it is abrasive in the process. We enjoy the finished product of it, but we don't live with the irritation that the oyster had to live with to refine this jewel. And God would have people in your life who will refine you, but they care enough about you to go through the process with you. You have to stop dismissing people who will tell you truth. There's someone that's dear to my heart, and I was telling them on this week that part of my purpose in your life is that I'm going to help you to finish something, because the potentiality has always been with you, but because you've been dropped, it has caused you to drop things. And I understand how it is to be dropped, but I'm here in your life to make sure that you're not dropped. So I can use me being dropped, and I can use my pain, and as my late wife said, turn it into power, and to not live in that pain, and to help you to become who you're supposed to be. There's intentionality and purpose and relationship, because now there becomes perfect alignment. I used to take a drafting class when I was at Lane Tech. Well, let me be honest. I took drafting about 5-6 times at Lane Tech. I was only required to take it twice. You can figure that out. And the thing that it was is that we had an instrument that they use now electronically, but we had to have a big drafting board, and we had this instrument called a T-square. And it's this T-square that we use to draw our lines so that the lines will be perfect. We were not able to freehand it and to get it to that point. And even though it was cumbersome to carry around, it was needful for the project in order for it to come into completion. You have to be willing to go through the process to align. And God has people who will align you. In these few moments I have left, I want to challenge you to stop walking away from what is called to align you. I'm not talking about people yelling at you. I'm not talking about people misappropriating relationships. I'm not talking about people who got to be your mama, your daddy, and all of these things, but people who are content to be what it is that they are called to be. And they won't let up on the gas until you become. Because here's the truth of the matter. Those of us who have people who we are called to be those things in their life, you help align us as well. So you're part of our purpose as well. Seemingly and intellectually, I may hold the power in the relationship. But what it is that I'm giving you of my power so that you can align and come to the completeness of the totality of the power that you are called to be. And let me take a couple moments here to even deal with the people who are truly haters in your life. People who are truly dismissive, but they seem like they won't go anywhere. You're not addicted to them, but they just won't go anywhere. They keep popping up. If we are going to be believers and believe, if Jesus said that he, or God said that he will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies, why are you always trying to dismiss people who are driving you to a position of authority? Joseph put it this way, and all the rejection and all the different things he had, that the enemy meant it for my harm, but God meant it for my good. Stop being dismissive. There's no completion of Jesus if there's not a Judas. Stop being dismissive. You have to understand that there are some people who are assigned to your life, but they're there to make it better, because you would not have been as driven. You would not have been as passionate. You would not have been as anointed. You would have not been as prayerful if these people had not been in your life. So can we do away with this damnable doctrine of being dismissive of people? Because some things will drive you. And it's not that you're trying to prove to them anything. Because here's the thing, there's some things, some people that you're going to always be unprovable for. But the success that God is driving you to will allow some people's minds to change, some people to say, well, whatever. But it's the success of God. So even those relationships that seem to be getting on your most last nerve, God can take those and they can mean it for your good. There's purpose in the relationship. So if I can digress to where I started from, every relationship is not to be your friend. Some are your acquaintances. Some are knowingly transactional, I mean. Some are seasonal. Some may be for this season, they go silent and they become prominent in the next season because they were designed to carry you to a place, then allow you to move on. And they're there at the next place to take you even further. But you have to allow the mind of Christ to be in you so you can have true discernment about your placement and your power. And you need to celebrate the moments that you are in connection with those who are truly aligned for your purpose. Everything is not forever. Everything is not for always. Some things are. But again, some things, I have cousins who I love and we grew up together. And I've been blessed over this last year, unfortunately through death, but blessed over this last year to be back in contact with them. and I was the officiant at a couple of the at the services. And one thing I was privileged to say to them is that we're not mad with each other. Life has transitioned and we have all had to go separate ways, do separate things. But even in these moments, let's celebrate with one another the reconnection, the bond, the love that we have. It doesn't mean that I don't love you. It means that this season and that those seasons in our lives, we were there. And here's the glory in all of this. When need was there, there's no hesitation to reach out, to see if you need me, or to ask, can you help me? There are people in our lives who are like that. Everyone is not designed to walk with you every step. There are some people who can and will. There are some people you'll meet along the way who will go further with you. And it doesn't mean that these people started hating on you. It just means that for that season, it took you where you needed to be, and no one is mad because the other one is using this one or that. But we're careful about our purpose, the dynamic of our purpose. So if you got nothing else, and I'm wrapping this up here, if you got nothing else out of what I said, understand that there's purpose in relationships, whether it's good or bad. But let's stop being dismissive of what is good. Let's stop being dismissive from a classism standpoint. Remember about the Jonathan and David story I gave you. To you leaders who may watch this, some of your best relationships may come from the pews. Don't get it twisted that people are not your equal because they're not your title. I know we teach that, but there's not a truth in that. Because some of the people who are your title have not gone through, have not earned it. Some people was born on third base and act like they hit a triple. But seek for the God-ordained relationship and watch God align your purpose, and you will be the fulfillment of what he says. All right. Thank you so much for those of you who listened on tonight, watched on tonight, or whenever you did. Again, this is the podcast you didn't know that you needed. I have something to say. Let's talk. Thank you for tuning in, whether it was on Podbean, whether it was on YouTube, whether it was on Facebook. Again, if you want to reach me, talk about this subject or anything else, I'm accessible through email, RRH podcast, the character one at gmail.com. Again, RRH podcast, the character one at gmail.com. I'm so glad to be back, glad that I'm over the sickness, glad the sickness wasn't unto death. I'll be back with you in 2 weeks. May you be blessed. Until next time, my name is Robert R. Holiday. I have something to say. Let's talk.